Hey, so today I'm going to be hiking from Montjuic Castle above Girona to a place called Celrà via el Castillo de San Miguel. So here we are in Montjuic Castle on the hill above the old town of Girona, just down there. And yeah, we're going to be hiking over towards where the sun's come up from, towards the sea and towards the east to a place called Celrà, which is a village maybe about 9-10 kilometers from here, with perhaps, I don't know, maybe 100-150 meters up and down. So not too strenuous, just a nice day's hike. So yeah, let's go. You can see this is the inside of the old castle. It's fairly beaten down these days, but it's a pretty fun place to go for an explore. So it's a pretty soft introduction here. You're just walking along some roads. Walking through a pretty affluent neighbourhood, to be honest, but it's quite nice to start on a bit of an easy track, well, on the pavement basically. Get your ankles working, get your muscles going before you get onto the more uneven stuff of the mud tracks a bit later on. Seems a water main's bust as water's just spilling out of the concrete over there. Some more evidence of the wonderful properties. There's water just spilling out of the concrete there too. So this is us first getting out of the main neighbourhood of Montjuic, down the first track. Obviously it's kind of a gravel track, a load of dead pine needles, shrubbery hedges to the side. Got a load of rosemary around and some pine trees. It's pretty idyllic, especially pretty great in the morning. You know, mist is still burning off from the night, as can be seen kind of over there, and the sun still pretty soft, which makes for a cool but warming temperature. So pretty great right now. Obviously there's a fair amount of dew about on the floor, so your shoes might get wet depending what footwear you got on. I like to wear these big massive boots for hiking. I mean, they're a bit overkill, and they're a bit warm on your feet, but they're waterproof, which gets you through a lot. You never know what you're going to come up against or how the day's going to be. Gives you a load of ankle support, which is also pretty great, and also kind of makes you feel quite good. But other people like to go in trail shoes, which are, you know, a bit more lighter and nimbler, and I mean less ankle support, but a bit more flexibility and freedom, I suppose. It's a bit of a personal choice though. As I say, I like these. And this coming into view is the monastery of St. Daniel. Yeah, we're in a village just kind of outside, I don't know. In the far view over there you might be able to see the spire of Girona Cathedral. So yeah, we're just in a small village up the valley from Girona. And I suppose this is the first bit of the real trail that we'll be following. It starts on the road, I guess, but hopefully we should get into the woods and some more dirt tracks a bit later. Obviously roads like this are pretty good to walk on, you make pretty good pace. It's pretty stable for your legs, pretty predictable. Little crazy thing, some sort of water tower with a windmill on top. God knows when that went out of use. So this thing says we're coming into the Guivarez protected natural zone just up here, so hopefully this road's about to run out and we'll get into some real woods and forests and pines and tracks. Fingers crossed anyway. There is your little cemetery of the village. A little allotment for someone, I suppose. Let's have a look in here, see what it's like. Cementerio de San Miguel. Pretty beautiful. Here's our first sign. It says Puig de San Miguel, 43 minutes. Celrà, an hour and 34 minutes. No distances on there yet. Yeah, start of our dirt path as well, so hopefully we should be getting a little bit more wild now. There's a fair few people about, running, walking, doing whatever, so let's get off and see how it goes. España se dejaré, some of the remains of the independence push from like 2017. Yeah, we're getting a bit far out there now. Nice bit of shade covering. Real rough paths, makes your legs work a bit harder. Path continues up there. I think we're getting even further off piste and going up here, which should be pretty interesting. I think we're following this El Camí Catalonia, which is a big long path that goes all the way through. This Anello Verde, or the green ring, must be something similar, but I'm not really quite sure what that is. I suppose it will become apparent as we go along. But yeah, here we go, man. Getting right up in there into the mountains now. Huge, I don't know, is that slate? A lot more gravel on the ground, so this is the type of place you need a lot more grip, and as you can tell from my breathing, it's starting to tax the body a fair bit more. But this is why we came. It's pretty beautiful. Wonderful bit of isolation, fantastic nature. Yeah, this is exactly the sort of thing we wanted when we set out. Great little track through the trees. Thankfully the number of people has died off a bit. When we were going along that road, a lot of runners, quite a lot of walkers, bikers, a bit of everything, which is fine, but this is a bit more peaceful, a bit more to ourselves. I wasn't expecting there to be so many people out this early doing this stuff, but hey ho. And just when you think you got the world to yourself, there's a big bloody massive motorway flyover in the absolute middle of nowhere. Oh well. Oh, she blows in all her glory, whatever the hell road this is. A nice HGV smashing along. Meow. And what's more, a feature of Spain, some absolutely crazy expensive architecture or sculpture in the middle of nowhere for not much apparent reason. Girona, Yinda de Europa, de Bonaventura and Son, the Nordic Walking Group. And UNESCO did this in 2017, May of 2017, for the Day of Europa. I can't say I really see the point. I think the money would have been better spent supporting the less well off, but I suppose that's why I'm not in the government. I don't know if you can see it way off into the distance there, but just about there somewhere is Girona Cathedral, and there's the barrio or neighbourhood that sits on the hill above Girona. So kind of that's how far we've come, or we've come maybe from about that corner there, which is probably about the hill of Montjuic. So yeah, nice. It's more of a hunter's track or a farmer's track than I thought it would be. It's a little nice stretch of little path, but it's still quite nice going and peaceful. Oh, actually, I think up there on the right we branch off onto a rough walker's track. But I think the big problem is going to be we're just going left and right through the switchbacks of the road. But that's what it is, so just get on with it. It's been a pretty nice time. Yeah, here we are, switching off and going up here. So just stopped here to have a bit of water. And chill off for a bit. I brought a litre with me. Should be alright. It's only, as I say, 10 kilometres, and hopefully I'll be able to refill it up at the end or have a drink somewhere at the end. So yeah, it's good to take a rest every now and again. One of the other good things about being out in the countryside, start to forage maybe. This is a rosemary bush, so rub it on your hand and smell it. It smells incredible. You can also take it home for a Sunday roast. In fact, you can bring a pair of scissors. I think we're about a kilometre short of Puig de Sant Miguel, where the castle should be. As you can see, this is how the trail is marked. You know, you'll see quite a lot of them along the way. So as long as you're seeing them, you know you're going the right way. That's how you can keep. Fair amount of cloud rolling in. It's maybe not so great for the video. It's pretty great for the hiker. Nice bit of cloud cover, keeps you cool and keeps the sun off you, which is invaluable when you spend all day out in it. Here, as you can see, is some crazy old building, which I guess used to be some shepherd's hut. Well, it's a bit more significant than that, a farmhouse. It's pretty far out here. This country house or farmhouse has been traditional architecture of dwellings in Sant Daniel, as until the 20th century, isolated houses occupied the whole area of the valley and its surroundings right to the gates of the city. So yeah, it was a farmhouse there. The people who looked after the land out here is pretty enchanting. Got a little sign here, Enfiladisas de las Gavares. I don't particularly read Catalan, so I don't know everything that says. But yeah, this is a pretty cool little structure. It's seen better days, but it's pretty beautiful now. I mean, based on how high the doors are, either people were shorter or they stooped a bit more. But yeah, this is what you want. Geez, I wonder if that metalwork was in there since it was built. Yeah, I think. Oh wow, look at those shelves made out of stone. Would have been a pretty amazing little building back in the day. But right now, I think it's gone beyond the point that anyone's going to restore it. Up the final steps, and here we should be. The arsey blows. Hopefully we can get up into the castle. Some other hikers or workmen. Yeah. Hola. Bon dia. Nice little moat there. Hey. Let's get up there. Pretty sweaty now. And as you can see, it was alright in the valley of Girona. And then there, you can see the heavier clouds blowing over the hilltop. Whoa! Oh shit. So here we go, perfectly, and just how it always goes. Right on the top of the tower of the Castle of San Miguel. And poetic justice, there's our view. Oh no, wait, no view at all, we just get a load of mist. View to the north, looks pretty sweet. Oh no. It's a bit annoying actually, because yes, there's a huge mountain range over there. And yesterday I was trying to identify which the mountains were, but I had no way of telling. And this would point it out to me, but unfortunately now I can see not very much. And the same goes over there. But that's how it goes sometimes. So there's Montjuic, it should be over there, and that's where we started from. And if the visibility was better, oh no, you can see the cathedral. I mean, I can see the cathedral. I doubt you're going to get it on the camera. But right down there is where we came from, straight over there. So yeah, all good. Oh, despite the fog and the clouds rolling over the top, it's still pretty atmospheric, still pretty great. The cool that the clouds gives pretty wonderful too. So yeah, totally worth it. It's been a nice little hike, to be honest. It's about 3.3 kilometers down to Celrà, which is over here behind the incoming cloud. Well, over there behind the incoming cloud. Yeah, 3.3k and about a 300 meter descent. So let's get off and get down there. Seems to be lightening up in the valley of Girona, but getting quite a lot darker in this valley over here. So the cloud seems to be burning off maybe the further it goes that way. I mean, it doesn't really look like it's going to rain, but it's getting pretty cold. And it is getting a bit thicker, so let's just kind of speed it up and maybe get to Celrà so we can have a bit of lunch as well. Well, we've descended quite a lot now. Whoa, nearly went down on a rock then. That's why you want the high support on the ankles. Yeah, come down a fair way now. I think the castle's somewhere up over there, but yeah, come down into some farmland, in some ploughed fields. I don't know if you can see just over there is where the industrial estate is, all the warehouses and whatnot. But yeah, yeah. So we found the roads again, so it looks like we're getting back into civilization. Still pretty wonderful nature and countryside out here. Not quite sure how far away we are from Celrà at the minute, but we're definitely getting there. Now there's something to aspire to, eh? One day, mate. Yep, we seem to be definitely into Celrà now. Be interesting to see what the village is like, see if it's depopulated or pretty bustling. As I say, I'm desperately hoping there'll be a cafe in the centre for a coffee. Pretty sure we should be. It's a pretty beautiful little village, to be honest. Wonderful. Well, as it turns out, we've arrived at 11 on the dot, and the church bells are ringing, sounding my glorious arrival. No, I don't. Well, perfectly, I was hoping for a cafe here next to the church, but despite being a pretty fantastic village, that doesn't look like it'll be coming true. As it turns out, nothing seems to be on the church square with this wonderful tree, although there is the what looks sufficiently and long closed Bar de la Placa, and as this sign so handily points out, this is the Carrer Major, or the main street, so let's go down here and hope for the best. Pretty crazy old building here. Some pretty wonderful ceramics and brickwork, God knows what it is. Now it's the factory of Celrà, which I guess is some cultural centre. Pretty cool. Just completed the walk, sat in a cultural centre, having a coffee. So I ended up doing 10 kilometres with 318 total elevation gain in 2 hours and 14 minutes.